Let's get this show on the road. Good morning, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order at 9:02 a.m. this morning. In the true spirit of reconciliation, we acknowledge all those who call this land home now and for thousands of years in the past. May we respect each other and find understanding together and recognize the benefits that this land provides to all of us. We have one time commitment today. We have a 9:30 delegation. One of our bursary winners is coming in, so we'll award that bursary and take some pictures. Other than that, before you have a proposed agenda. Are there any additions or deletions to the agenda? Do you want to add that one, Kim? Did you want to add that?
Oh, yeah, sorry. If we could add, under new business then?
Sure.
Yeah. The intersection of Township Road 102 and Highway 23.
Okay. Anything else? Any other additions, deletions to the agenda? If not, could I get a mover for the agenda? Mark.
I'd move the agenda be adopted as amended.
Thank you, Mark. Mark has moved for the adoption of the agenda as amended. Is there any discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? Opposed? That is carried. Adoption of the minutes. Before you, you have the County Council meeting minutes of September 18th, 2025. Any errors, omissions, anything arising from the minutes? Kevin.
Make a motion to adopt the minutes of the council meeting from September 18th.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin has moved to adopt the County Council meeting minutes September 18th, 2025 as presented. Is there any discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? Opposed? That is carried as well. Move down, department reports, corporate services, E1, E1.1, assessment services.
Good
Morning, Haley.
morning. So, before you today is consideration for assessment services to be contracted out as a third party, given the plan for our current county's assessor to be retiring in 2026. And so, before you is the information included in the package. We put out an RFP for assessment services and received one submission or one proposal, and so this is what is in front of you today in terms of council's consideration. Just before we kind of go into that, just want to kind of recognize that Les has dedication to the county in terms of he started as an assistant assessor in 1993 and became assessor in July of 2010, has been in that role ever since, and so it's a big change in terms of considering county services in a different form, and he's a strong, mighty team of one, and it's a complex process in terms of ensuring we're all of the requirements related to the MGA, and so just wanted to kind of give that recognition as we have this conversation, which proposes a bit of a change to how the county does assessment services. So. There's any questions?
Thank you, Haley. I would open it up to council for any questions you might have. Go ahead, Lauren.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So when I look at the numbers, how does that compare to hiring somebody? Because it seems like it's fairly high when you get up to 2030.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that many municipalities are struggling to fill positions of in-house assessors and assessment. It's certainly gotten more extensive and complex over the years in terms of the municipal government requirements in the Act. And it's challenging to fill that role with one individual in terms of just the ability to kind of manage all of the demands of that role and the timing of that. And so without kind of that expertise that he's had over with the county over, you know, the several years that he's been here, it's tough to kind of fill that with one position. And so we did explore that option. I think just given the environment of assessment services, it would be tricky to fill that with an internal position.
Go ahead, Cole.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Yeah, we actually, before we even went down the RFP path, had some extensive conversations at ARMA. And there's only, I know Foothills County and Newell County both still retain assessment services. And the compensation amount, very comparable to this. I think that we've been able to do it with one assessor, but I think the reality is we're not certain that one assessor, even if we could recruit it, to pay those amounts, gives us the bench strength. We have a lot of eggs in one basket, and we've been very fortunate that Les is here, but it's also, you have one person that can do the job, which poses its own risks in and of itself. Plus, if we want to look at any supplemental assessment, which a lot of municipalities have gone with the longer development timelines, when you have something that takes multiple years, strains the infrastructure, strains everything else, you know, supplemental assessment is something that we have talked about and looked at. So there's some of those things where we just don't have capacity to explore that right now. So I don't have the exact answer through the chair to Councillor Hickey on what it is. I know that some of these other municipalities, and I don't want to pay their assessment services more than our highest paid senior leadership position to actually recruit and retain them. On top of that, needing the software and everything else, which roughs out to almost the exact same number. And so I can't say what that would be. I'm not saying it would be impossible to find, but we did have a lot of these conversations, and I know a few municipalities tried for a long time and weren't, and ended up going this route. I don't know if Vulcan County was one, but Vulcan County is who we actually worked with to help build out our RFP, because they went through that process recently as well.
Go ahead, Lauren.
Thank you. Just to follow up then, so given the number of people they have listed in their proposal, and the number of clients they have, it sounds like they would be very overworked. I mean, if you say we actually need perhaps 2 people, when you look at the number of clients they have and the number of people they have listed in their list of staff, it's pretty tight.
Well, I'm not sure that that's everyone in their organization. I haven't gone down, looked at their kind of org structure beyond kind of who was included in this proposal to know kind of what the total structure looks like. And so I think that that's also their responsibility to kind of manage how they would support the organization. I just know that we've been struggling to kind of do some of those changes that Mr. Beck talked about, and so just like how we can kind of support the county in the best way is the proposal we have before you. I think we've looked at various options and are bringing forward the one that we consider probably the best.
Haley, is it, I don't know this space, is it unusual that there was only the one proposal put forward? Is this just a relatively small market, or is this unusual that there was only one respondent to the RFP?
I don't think so for this type of RFP, given the specialization of assessment services, and given kind of the inquiry that we had with various other municipalities and counties. This seems to be the consistent structure with what would be expected. We weren't expecting a ton because there just isn't a ton of assessment services consultants in Alberta that could provide the service. So while it's disappointing that there's only one, I think that was to be expected, just given the specialization of this specific service.
Thank you. And through to you, Cole, in your discussions with some of these municipalities, I know I've spoke with Reeve Taylor from the County Warner and kind of given his perspective on their transition and what that's meant to them, and I think my understanding is they've been very happy, but just your overall perspective and the conversations you've had with Vulcan County and others.
Yeah, the feedback's actually been really good. I mean, they specialize in this. It's a lot. When we look at the amount of growth, and I guess this is where it comes into, and I want to be very fair, Les has done a phenomenal job juggling what we've asked him to juggle, but he's one person, and to Councillor Hickey's point, that they have a team that does this, that specializes, so when you need the support, it's not a linear, I guess it's not a linear role. When you need them to scale up, they need to go in, they need to manage the growth, they need to do some of those assessments. You need more resources, and then there's times of the year where it's slower. So by employing this in-house, you kind of have just one person available year-round, that FTE, whereas going to a contracted service, you're able to hold them accountable to the level of services outlined. If they don't have enough resources, then that's also not our problem. It then becomes about upholding the contract and saying, you need to meet X, tell us how you're going to get there. And so part of the proposal is to outline what they have available to demonstrate that they can, but it's a different mechanism. So overall, everybody's been really thankful. I think they felt that they get more value for the dollar this route by being able to get the services when they need it. But we haven't done it this way. And so we can't do it. I think that there is and I know we discussed this during budget, there's a real risk to trying to recruit, and we talked about this when we set the budget for that reason, where we needed to know if we were going this path, we needed to go this path, because you can't just flip a switch. If Les were to retire tomorrow, we need some runway, we need a transition plan. There's a lot of institutional knowledge there, which this also provides some protection against that, because I don't know what we'd do if Les left tomorrow, to be honest, without some kind of transition plan and some ability to get the information out of his head and then into a systematized approach to assessment. So feedback's been great from everybody we've talked to. We did hope that we'd have a little bit more competition on the RFP, that maybe somebody out of Calgary or something would come, but we know Benchmark is the only one regionally. Having said that, well, it came in a little bit higher than we had planned and budgeted for. I still feel that it's worth trialing and the value proposition's there, and if at the end of this RFP cycle we find that it's not, I think it's something we revisit at that time. But I don't have any more information until we actually do it, see how it goes, and then we reassess.
How long is a cycle then? How many years is that?
Is the RFP proposal, so they're proposing out to 2030.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move that County Council award the assessment services contract to Benchmark Assessment Consultants per their July 24, 2025 proposal and fee schedule.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin will move the recommendation that County Council award the assessment services contract to Benchmark Assessment Consultants, Inc. per their July 24th, 2025 proposal and fee schedule. Is there any further discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? That carries. E2, operations. E2.1, the 2026 capital equipment purchasing. Good morning, Ryan.
Morning, Chair, Council. Well, we're back again. Annually, the Council approves 5-year capital plans as per the Municipal Government Act, which requires an approval 5-year capital plan and 3-year operating budget. All purchases for the replacement of existing equipment would be for the 2026 calendar year and therefore will fall under the 2026 capital equipment expenditure. Any delays in delivery of equipment continues to be a challenge due to manufacturing timelines and ordering of some equipment is required this fall to ensure equipment is available for our 2026 season. Recommendation that council approves the 2026 fleet capital budget for purchasing requirements as presented in the attached file. As part of the budget process, quotes for equipment have been sourced and received, and there are still significant manufacturing delays with this. And so the requirement to queue up equipment now for our 2026 season, as well as to ensure that we actually, for the disposal of some of those assets in 2026, meet the highest demand, which is the spring sale, that they're available. We need our replacement items available. So recommendation for council to approve the 2026 fleet capital equipment request. Any questions?
Thank you, Ryan. Yeah, if I may.
Yeah.
On the enterprise fleet program, I know that we've had a lot of discussion about that. I know that
Yes.
that's generated a lot of discussion in the community. Maybe if you could just quickly go over that and kind of just, obviously, if this is the recommendation, it still is something that is advantageous to the county, but maybe just if you could maybe touch on that.
Sure, thank you, Chair. With the Enterprise Fleet Program, the value proposition with this program is because we purchase the cars directly from the manufacturer through this program, and we get a very deep discount that's not available to other users. So what we leverage with that is the overall sale of the truck in 2 years is high. So we've had recent sales where we actually sold the past SUV. It sold for the same cost as buying a new vehicle. And so because we flip those vehicles on a 2-year premise, really the cost to run that vehicle, the initial purchase price is averaging out at about $8,000 to $10,000 for 2 years, which is around, it's less than $500 a month to run those vehicles. The advantage of these, they're still fully on warranty. So the only thing we're actually covering with our added costs is anything for any other vehicle would be a couple oil changes, fuel, which is gonna be for no matter what type of vehicle we run, and windshields, to the point where we rarely even end up doing brakes or any other repairs or even tires in the life of the vehicle. So your overall cost to run a vehicle averages about $500 a month for these vehicles. So we're just like, the success is contingent on the strong market for the resale of the trucks, and we have no indication working with Enterprise that market is softening at all.
Thank you, Ryan. Open up to council for any questions you might have. If not, how would you like to proceed? Good, Mark.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I move the council approve the 2026 fleet capital budget for purchasing requirements.
Thank you, Mark. Mark has moved the recommendation the council approve the 2026 fleet capital budget for purchasing requirements. Is there any further discussion? I'll call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? That is carried.
Thank you.
And item E3, administration, E3.1, the Community Planning Association of Alberta, CPAA 2026 Annual Conference and Sponsorship. Morning, Candace.
Good morning, Council. The CPAA has invited Lethbridge County to sponsor its 2026 conference, which is scheduled for April 27th to the 29th, 2026. It's being held at the Red Deer Casino and Resort. The CPA conference is one of Alberta's premier municipal and planning gatherings, bringing together municipal leaders, councillors, developers, and planners from across the province. It showcases municipal leadership in planning, innovation, and collaboration, networking with municipal representatives, developers, CAOs, and planners, sharing knowledge and learning from challenges and successes in both rural and urban contexts. The theme for the 2026 conference is Collaborative Planning for Alberta's Future. Registration costs are $600 or $650 per person. Below is listed some sponsorship options that range from $2,000 to $6,000. In past years, council has supported this conference at the $3,000 level, which would be the signature sponsor. Yeah, financial impact would be whatever level council chooses to pick, should they choose to sponsor.
Thank you, Candace.
You're welcome.
Any comments or discussion from council? Go ahead, Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I would move that the county council approve sponsorship of the 2026 CPAA conference at the signature sponsor level in the amount of $3,000, with the funds to come from council's discretionary reserve, and that any member of council may be eligible to attend.
Thank you, Kevin. Kevin, move the recommendation Lethbridge County Council approve sponsorship of the 2026 CPAA conference at the signature sponsor level in the amount of $3,000, with funds to come from the council's discretionary reserve, and that any member of council be eligible to attend. Is there any further discussion? Call the question. Those in favor? Those opposed? That is carried. Are you guys waiting on anyone else, or is everyone here that you were hoping for, or are you waiting on anyone else? Are you good to go now then? Is it okay if we go a little early? Cool. Okay, why don't we move then in our agendas, item D, delegations. So we have Ethan Honess here today, and he is one of the winners of the Lethbridge County Bursary Award. So without further ado, Ethan, if you want to come up, we'll take some pictures and present you with your award.
Thank you. Perfect. Squeeze in just a smidge more. Perfect. Did you get some? Yeah. Can we do one outside too?
Yeah.
Just so I have one more. We'll be quick.
Yeah.
Get some fresh air. Come back.
good, Candace?
Yep.
Okay, we can move down to our correspondence. We have 2 pieces of correspondence today. Our first piece of correspondence from the Municipal District of Willow Creek. As a valued neighboring community, the ASB would like to extend 1 complimentary ticket to your town, county, or municipal district for a special evening for the 32nd Legacy of Our Land Banquet, an annual event dedicated to celebrating, honoring the agricultural producers in our community. The event details are November 7th, 2025. The venue is the Fort McLeod and District Community Hall. Doors open at 5, prime rib dinner to follow at 6. So that is our first piece of correspondence. If there is someone interested in attending, we do have that free ticket. Please talk to Candace. Yeah. And our second piece of correspondence today from the Pitcher, Butte, and District Chamber of Commerce. I'm going to read this in its entirety. To Lethbridge County CAO and Council, the Pitcher, Butte, and District Chamber of Commerce is pleased to invite you to our annual Best of Butte Awards evening, where we'll be honoring our 2025 Citizen of the Year, Mr. Morris Zeenstra. This event is a celebration of community spirit, excellence, and the contributions that make Pitcher, Butte a wonderful place to live. We would be delighted by your presence as we recognize both outstanding businesses and the exceptional service of Mr. Zeenstra. Tickets are $50 and are available online at the Chamber or in person at Cooperators in Pitcher Butte. We sincerely hope you can join us for a special evening of recognition and community pride. Warm regards, Kathy Moore, Mayor of Town of Pitcher Butte.
I think I'll go to that one.
You want to use the free ticket?
Congratulations, Morris.
Well,
That's
thank
awesome.
you guys. Yeah, thank you.
And then we have our addition. If we move to new business, G. Cole, how do you want to? Kevin, floor's yours.
Okay, so we've had 3 accidents in the last 2 weeks on turning off, so heading west off the 23 onto Township Road 102. I've got a lot of calls from our ratepayers in the area asking for what basically they can do to, what steps to go through to do it better. I do believe that's Alberta Transportation. We would have to do something, but yeah, it's basically what's happening is they're turning off going west on Township Road 102 and they're getting rear-ended, sent into oncoming traffic because it's a 2-way highway. It's really, when it's busy, it's really bad in that area, and I don't know if there's something we can do about it to, yeah, help that situation.
Go ahead, Lauren, and then Morris.
Thanks. Is that the road that's just past the overpass?
Yeah.
Okay.
Morris?
Same one that we letter on? Is this the same?
No.
No, this is not.
This is there.
Go ahead, Morris.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm going quite a bit on that road and I can see what could happen there. I've seen it there. Yeah, pretty close call, something like that. I wonder if they could have better signage on the main highway down there that it maybe caution or maybe even slow down there the traffic. Because that's where the traffic basically speeds up, eh? So, yeah, something like that, maybe we could, on there with the county down there, send to transportation to see if there is certain options there.
Go ahead, Ryan, sorry.
Kevin, just so I'm clear, which direction that, like, maybe just map out exactly where those have.
Like northbound turning west is what you're saying?
Northbound turning
Yeah.
left.
So a lot of times what's happening is they're coming this way going northbound,
Okay.
on the 23, and then they gotta turn off on Township Road 1-2. But what happens is if there's lots of traffic behind and this person isn't paying attention to them where they're coming behind, they plow right into them, send them into the southbound traffic, and then it's a big mess. And that's been the 3 accidents, that's what's happened. Or somebody jumps that stop sign real fast because they wanna beat the traffic It's just with that feedlot up on the hill there, there's not good visibility, right? If you don't catch them coming around the corner, then, yeah.
So maybe like, oh,
May, you know, you can, have lots of signage or whatever else on there, you know, like, you guys know approximately where I live on 843 down there, straight north of, Butte. It's an open road and everything else on there. One of our guys who works in our circle down there, he was, had to stop for oncoming traffic to go into my yard. Yeah, big semi-truck was not paying attention, I guess, or whatever, and all of a sudden he noticed that the truck or the guy was working for us, that he was stopped there, and he took the dead semi-year-old and sent it right in front of our house. So, you know, you can have signage all over or whatever, but you gotta pay attention.
Good call.
thank you, Mr. Chairman. So maybe if I could recommend, I mean, obviously 10-2 is our road. We could have Heath or David reach out to the RCMP. Let's see if we can get the accident history there, because that's usually where AT will start anyways. Put together a little bit of information, and then I have it on my list so I've already reached out to Alberta Transportation about the 512 turning lane that we discussed. I need to respond to them to say that we need to set up a meeting. We have a few things to discuss. We could add this to the list. Some of the other challenges with Alberta Transportation, and something we need to vet, is we've been recently told that, maybe I gotta let Devin speak to this, but essentially the province has downloaded all of the review and everything to the municipality. So even when it's their road, they're saying, well, you guys need to come forward and it needs to go to council, which really tough for us because we don't have the traffic counts on their road. We don't have, so it really puts municipalities in kind of a precarious position to either support or oppose something with inadequate information, but when it's not even really their roadway before they'll even review it, and they might still reject it. So then it's either you rubber stamp everything to go forward or not. So we need to have that conversation regardless. But because this is a concern related to an intersection that we do own a roadway on, it might be worth us putting together a little bit of information, and then we can add it to the list of that conversation. We're happy to update. And if council feels that a more formal request needs to go forward, we can always send a letter to transportation, but I think it's going to come full circle. So my suggestion would be, let us put some things together. Let us spend the next couple of weeks trying to set something up with AT. I do not know if we can make that happen before the next council meeting, but I think we for sure could before the following one, and then we provide an update there, if that works.
Well, and I think just knowing, like, because even the stuff on that turn that we were talking about from that Kim Lang, even just hearing that the county is looking into things shows a lot to the people in the area, right? Like, so when they hear that, yeah, we're looking into doing something, they'll be very happy about that.
I appreciate that. I think it's just important for whoever is listening to there's a lot that we want to see get done, we want to try and advocate for, and I just don't want to set any expectations that us having these conversations is going to translate to anything, but we will do our best to see what we can do. And if there's a role that we play in cost sharing or something else, then, you know, we've had those conversations or are about to have some of those conversations with AT to say, then let's talk about what those priority things are and how we can help support that. So.
Go ahead, Laura.
Thank you. So is there anything you could do to improve the visibility for the feedlot there or on the corner? Because I think a lot of people, when they're going north, are kind of looking to see if there's anybody coming from the right side, because you can't see.
It might be something that we just need to get Sean or somebody in operations to drive, assess, see if we have the right signage, like do what we can on our roadway if there's anything, and then if not, we assess exactly that. And I don't know what's impeding that visibility. I can't remember. I've driven that road so many times, but I can't remember.
Elevation.
Is that what it is?
The little man, it's sitting probably a good 15 feet higher than the road. Quite a bit higher. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, I remember this intersection.
AT does own a sliver of that. They could potentially cut that maybe back a little bit as an option to improve.
Just right here, hey, like even.
Yeah, and they do own a sliver because they purchased road right away on the west side of that
Got it.
Got some property in there.
Okay.
What would be even a huge difference already is just making a turning lane there, so that you're getting off the main highway when you're turning off to those, cause a lot of times when you got southbound traffic coming in, you're parked in the north waiting to turn, that's what happens, right? They come plowing up behind you, but you're sitting in the main highway, right? So if you had a turning lane on each side to be able to get off the highway, then at least you're not getting plowed from behind, right?
So if I could ask council, then we can go two different approaches. We can take this away and try and bundle it as part of our conversation with AT, or if council wants to send a letter of concern about this roadway that needs to be addressed, that subsequently could trigger a conversation with AT too, and I'm open to whatever council would like to see here as far as flagging it.
But you said we have a meeting coming up.
I need to set it. They've responded, and we just need to set a date and find a time to meet, so.
That we could just put this in.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Cole. Is there anything else for the public portion of our meeting? If not, I would entertain a motion to enter a closed session. We have one item, CAO report, ATIA section 19, 20, 28, and 29. Warren?
I would move that we enter a closed session.
Thank you, Warren. Warren's moved to enter a closed session at 9:41 a.m. this morning. Is there any discussion? Call the question.